What's going on, guys? Want to hop on real quick and talk about an epiphany I had today. While I was in the car, I was listening to Russell Brand talk on addiction, and he kind of made me realize something that was really eye-opening. And that is that I've actually been an addict for way longer than I thought. He created this really interesting distinction between the type of addict that is, the stereotypical one you think of, someone who is hooked, who's an alcoholic, or they're hooked on heroin or cocaine, or some of these really extreme hard drugs, right? That's typically what people think of when they think of an addict. Crystal meth, when you're watching Breaking Bad, like, oh, those are what addicts look like, right? And then he described this other type of addict, where this is the type of person who their addictions are more, it's easier to hide them. It's easier to go about your day-to-day life and not have people notice that. So things like codependency, being in a toxic relationship with someone, drinking to a certain extent is very, easy to cover up. Marijuana, smoking weed is very, very culturally accepted now, that we don't stop to think of the real repercussions it has on people. Food is another one. People who are emotional eaters, right? And what it really all comes down to is that it's emotion. It's wanting to, any repeated behavior you go to when you do not want to feel something you're experiencing in your body. And so you go to a substance, a person, a certain type of experience that helps you mask that, stuff it down, project it onto someone else. And I realized I've been doing that for a long, long time, over 15 years. Particularly with things like weed, like PMO, which is a big topic of discussion on YouTube, I know. All of these various methods of escape that ultimately lead to pain and suffering. And that was another quote he mentioned by Eckhart Tolle, was addiction begins with suffering and ends with suffering. It is the action, the behavior of suffering. Any repeated outcome that generates a negative result, any type of behavior that you want to stop but can't, that is addiction. And it just made it so clear to me. It really opened my perspective on just how long I've been running from myself and how exhausting it is to be running from yourself. Yeah. And so that hit me, and I came back home right away, and I just started cleaning my apartment, trying to get things in order, man, trying to get straight. And, I did Kratom this morning. I woke up at around 4:30. And I'm a terrible sleeper now. So I woke up around 4:30, drove to the local gas station that's open 24/7. And I got myself some Kratom. conveniently purchased at my local gas station. Isn't that nuts? A drug that feels like opiates, you can just get. Oh, and at the local smoke shop, too. They're selling this thing called, the local smoke shop is where I initially started getting Kratom. But now they're selling these, it's called Add All. And it's like this mock version of Adderall, right? And it's just like, dude, it's weird. Anyone who says that legalizing drugs would mean less drug addiction, less issues around drugs, it's not the drugs, it's the culture, I think, that we're a part of. And how our culture, so much of it is repressing your emotions and trying to escape your emotions. Not being at peace with yourself, not being in relation with yourself. So, I don't know what I'm going to do today, but, I'm cleaning right now and I'm just trying to stay away from drugs. And I wish there was more of a payoff to this video, but it was really more just kind of a realization I wanted to share with people, to kind of rethink the way you look at addiction, the way you think about addiction. And realize it's all around us. People who are not at peace with themselves. And so they resort to certain behaviors that help them cope with that. And if you're in pain right now, if you're going through something hard, I hope you'll share in the comments. We can all support each other. There's a great quote by Marcus Aurelius that I really love, and it's, men were created, in this context, you can fit men or women, but the actual quote is, men were created for the sake of each other. Teach them then, or bear with them. So I think if we're not teaching each other, we can at very least bear with each other, and try to just support each other as best we can, because this is so hard. And I know I can't do it alone. I'm considering joining a 12-step program. If anyone has any experience with that, I'd love to hear it. But that's really all I got for now. I hope you guys are happy and healthy and well, and I'll talk to you soon.